Laura and I are out and about in the woods today, and we thought we'd take a moment and talk about poison ivy. Here you can see growing up the tree. Hairy, hairy, oh, so scary. Leaves of 3, leave it be. All the way up the tree there. So something you don't want to be touching. There we go. This tree here we've found has fallen over. It still has the hairy, hairy vine on it, and you can still get poison ivy. Oftentimes we cut up this kind of trees for firewood, but please be careful, because if you are sensitive to poison ivy and you're burning one of these vines in your fireplace or in a fire pit, you could actually put the poison ivy inside your lungs. So be careful with that. Let's see if we can find some more. So poison ivy is also found on the ground, and we find a nice patch right here. Oh, that's some good ones there. And as they grow, Laura and I have been talking about some of the new growth does not quite have the notches that we often see in a more mature growth of poison ivy. And in the new growth too, it oftentimes seems like a little shiny or oily. So in a full growth, what you'll find, I'm going to come over to your hands, Laura.
This is a good one right here.
Okay.
On that one.
You're going to see the center leaf of the 3.
Can you see that?
Kind of looks like that with our 2 thumbs out, and then the outer leaves kind of do something like that. And we'll scan back down here and see if you can see that on the actual plants. So that is poison ivy, and besides the hairy, hairy, oh so scary, leaves of 3, leave it be. So on down the path a little ways, we found this plant right here. It's called jewelweed. And I'm going to let Laura kind of tell you what, in talking about poison ivy, a little bit about what jewelweed is good for here.
Well, I discourage people just to yank up plants out in the woods, but if you feel like you have come in contact with poison ivy, it's always good to know that there's something out there that can help counter the rash and help take the oils off. A lot of naturalists will do this for themselves. They'll just grab poison ivy and clean it off with that, with the jewelweed. I'm not brave enough to do that, but I've seen somebody do this. So what's cool about jewelweed, it has 2 names. It's called jewelweed because when it rains, the water droplets will collect on top of it. It's also called touch me not, I believe.
I'm not sure.
I'm trying to think of that, but it has little seed pods on it that when you touch, they explode. I'm thinking that's what the
Yes.
other name for it is. But what's cool about it, when you think of celery is very juicy on the inside, has a lot of mucilage juiciness to it. See how that just popped? But that juicy part, and I know there's probably a scientific name for it, you can use that and make poultice out of it. And it kind of gets runny after a while.
And then you just, I see on your fingers there, and then
just
you would just rub it wherever you've
came in contact with poison ivy.
Okay.
It smells a lot like lettuce,
Uh-huh.
if you were to smell it. But some people, when I would teach this with kids, they would say, well, that's kind of like nature's hand sanitizer. But it won't do the same thing like the hand sanitizer that we're using these days to kill bugs. But it also will help you get rid of the oils on your skins from poison ivy if you're out and about.
Okay, good to know. So while you're out and about, if you feel like you've reached into a bunch of poison ivy, you might be looking around for some jewelweed to give that initial wash before you are back somewhere where you can use soap and water. All right, and that's it for another nature tale.